The US president seems to be stuck in a tight spot. Joe Biden is facing a challenging dilemma. On one side, he has the commitment to war-torn Ukraine. On the other, are Republicans at home who are demanding greater accountability for Ukraine aid funds. And Biden is caught in between. He has vowed steadfast support for Kyiv, but will he buckle under pressure at home? And will that affect more American aid for Ukraine? On Sunday, Biden urged the U.S. Congress to stop playing games and negotiate an aid package for Ukraine as soon as possible. This after funding for Kyiv was dropped from a stopgap bill that averted a government shutdown in the U.S. Speaking from the White House on Sunday after signing the last-minute package, Biden said he expected Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to keep his commitment to secure passage and support needed to help Ukraine. Listen in.
And I want to assure our American allies and the American people and the people of Ukraine that you can count on our support. We will not walk away. The vast majority of both parties, I'll say it again, Democrats and Republicans, Senate and House, support helping Ukraine and the brutal aggression that is being thrust upon them by Russia. Stop playing games. Get this done.
Remember, Washington has provided Kyiv with at least $46 billion in military supplies alone since February 2022. This is in addition to other aid extended by the U.S. to Ukraine. And if you are about to question how long Washington will continue to extend this generosity to Ukraine, the war-battered country also has the same question. The head of the Ukrainian National Security and Defense Council, Alexei Danilov, has asked the West, please tell us precisely how long the West plans to support Ukraine, because Ukraine's backers have so far not clearly defined what their "as long as it takes" pledge actually means. But while Biden may be expressing steadfast support for Ukraine in its fight against Russia, secretly, behind closed doors, the Biden administration is worried. And what's the cause of concern? It is Ukraine's problem of corruption, of course. Kyiv has bigger fish to fry than Russia, and the Biden administration is far more worried about that than they publicly like to admit. According to a report by Politico, a secret U.S. strategy document reveals how this problem by Ukraine could lead some of its friends to abandon it. The sensitive but unclassified version of a long-term U.S. plan outlines numerous steps to help Kyiv combat corruption and reform several Ukrainian sectors. And it stresses that corruption could lead Western allies to withdraw support for Ukraine's fight against Russia's invasion. It emphasizes the urgency of anti-corruption efforts. The secret document warns that perceptions of high-level corruption could erode the confidence in Ukraine's wartime government. It encompasses a wide range of reforms, from privatizing banks to enhancing English education in schools to encouraging Ukraine's military to adopt NATO protocols. However, the main objective of these goals set by America for Ukraine is to combat the corruption that plagues the country. The quiet rollout of the U.S. strategy, coupled with the retention of the strongest language in the secret version, shows the dilemma that the Biden administration is grappling with. While the U.S. wants to support Ukraine, it knows where the problem actually lies. The Biden administration wants to press Ukraine to thwart corruption. It wants Ukraine to clean its house, not just because US dollars are at stake, but because opponents of this aid at home, I'm talking about the Republicans, of course, they are trying to block such assistance. And any idea that American support for Kyiv is weakening could cause other allies to think twice about their role, as well as leave the Kremlin laughing. For long, Ukraine's corruption has been a cause of concern for U.S. officials. In fact, it goes all the way up to President Biden. But the topic has been somewhat suppressed after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. For the U.S., it's a battle for democracy against autocracy. And so Ukraine's corruption has been brushed aside so the West can properly come out in solidarity with Kyiv. Now, let's consider Ukraine's anti-corruption efforts. President Volodymyr Zelensky is actively combating corruption within the country. In recent months, he has taken decisive actions by removing several top ministers involved in corrupt practices. And these corruption issues had led President Biden to express concern in July this year, saying that Ukraine might not be prepared for NATO membership. Since the onset of the war, doubts have lingered about Zelensky's commitment to fulfilling his anti-corruption pledge. Ukraine consistently finds itself in the lower ranks of Transparency International's annual Global Corruption Perceptions Index. In the most recent survey for 2022, in fact, Ukraine received a score of 33 out of 180 countries on the scale where 100 represents very clean and 0 signifies highly corrupt. Among European nations, only Russia had a worse corruption rating. So yes, Ukraine's bigger and clear problem lies within. How soon it eradicates this monster could also determine its outcome in the war. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.